Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of MENAbytes Today. Today, we've got Mahmoud Ibrahim, who's the co-founder and CEO of Homesmart, a furniture e-commerce marketplace in Egypt. He was previously with Daraz, one of the largest e-commerce marketplaces in South Asia, including Pakistan. He was the co-founder and COO of Daraz, worked with them for about 4 years, and then has been building Homesmart since last 18 months. Thank you so much, Mahmoud, for taking the time to join us today. How are you?
Thanks, Zubair, for having me today. All good. I think it's a good day.
Right. So first of all, tell us a little bit about what Homesmart is. I mean, yes, it's a furniture e-commerce marketplace, but if you can, share a bit more and tell us why did you decide to build this?
Yeah, no, I think it's Homesmart is an e-commerce marketplace that connects home goods and furniture manufacturers, home goods brands, and furniture manufacturers alongside with the consumers, and we stand in between matching supply and demand together. Uh, so the the whole idea behind Homesmart at the beginning that we found like there's a huge gap between supply and demand when it comes to uh, like shopping for home goods. When it comes to supply and demand, when it comes to demand, you never find like a one-stop shop that you can just access for a consumer. There's always like a price differences, like designs differences, brands variation, and I think it was about time that like a platform comes to organize this scene in general. When it comes to supply, uh, on the other side, it was mainly the distribution cost and the customer accessibility in the modern trades happening, right? So you find it like by time like transportation was taken care of, the normal retailing was taken care of, even food was taken care of. It was about time to focus on this $80 billion industry in a digitalized way, uh, and regulate this ecosystem in like a smarter like aspect.
Right. One of the things people have usually been skeptical about is that, something like furniture cannot be sold online. People want to visit showrooms, have a look at the furniture, get a feel of it. How have you been addressing this? How have you been able to convince the consumers that, they can trust the marketplace and they can actually buy these, large products from you guys and expect them to be delivered in a nice manner without a piece getting broken while it's being transported or something. So how have you been able to develop that trust and convince the consumers to actually buy furniture online?
Yeah, it's a very good one. I think we thought the same at the beginning, right? And we thought we will take some time educating the consumers. So we're not worried about the supply because it's there. Like everyone is prepared, they're ready to digitize. We were worried a bit, not worried, but we thought as any like digitizing like sector from scratch, it takes time for like education of the dependencies. However, we found out that actually customers looking for convenience more than like the touch and feel part, right? So if you give them the right parameters for their purchase or the right journey trust factors while they're going through, they'll be happy. So if you look at studies, it shows that a consumer to buy furniture almost takes like 3 to 4 weeks of asking around, like shopping. Again, you don't find one-stop shop, right? So you find like one here and one there when it comes to like brands. And either when you even find it, you find like difference in prices, and then mix it customer reviews, and to collect this all in one platform, giving them the trust factor that we have the luxury of returning the product if you really finding mismatching what you ordered, with flexible payment methods, which is very important for the consumers in such high ticket size. We found out this is what the customers are looking for, not the touch and feel. Actually, touch and feel was one part of it that customers can say we can let it go if we have all the others, and you can see it like across the world and like other like billions of dollars platform like Wayfair, Pepperfry in India, Madeira in Brazil. So it's happening, right?
Right, right. And today you've announced your $15 million Series A, which is one of the largest investment rounds raised by a niche-focused e-commerce marketplace in the region, and one of the largest investment rounds, obviously raised in Egypt. Even though the country has been getting a lot of investment, the startups in Egypt have been getting a lot of investments lately, especially the high size investments. But speaking of this particular investment round, so you raised a seed round when you had launched a beta in February last year, and now this $15 million Series A. So this is a big jump. Usually we see startups raising a small Series A before they go and raise something as substantial as $15 million Series A. So how did this come about, and what has been the growth like? If you can address both these questions.
No, I think we love to have it like the traditional way, right? Not raising a lot of cash in between, and and we love to have it like in the normal like base way. So which at the beginning you do a seed round, and the seed round is really focused on understanding more the tractions. So at the beginning we just did it ourselves, late 2019, like a beta version. We went out for investors with a couple of months, like tractions. Everyone was seeing like good traction. Then we started the hard launch in, I think, Feb last year, to be specific. And we used the seed round to really understand more the supply and demand and make the correlation in between, understand like what would be our strategy for the next like phase, how we bring this company to a multi-billion-dollar company in an institutional structure fast. And this happened, and the company grew 30x in a very healthy, solid way. And then when we needed to take this to the next level, which was about the time, we went out to investors and said like, we're raising this. And the good thing that we found, like a couple of our like current investors, they were doubling down and saying, this is a great potential. We're coming with you along. And we said, no, but we need to even bring some from outside. So it was a hybrid thing for like, we could have filled it fast. But it was good that you find like your current investor doubling down and believing more in the business model and the strategy and the tractions, and investors from outside. So we're very happy with like a very like I would say like happily oversubscribed round. We managed it in a quick way. But yeah, I think this is also and also like for people like us, like managing companies and want to focus on executions, we find it as well, like as you said, you find by time like ticket size is happening and it's increasing. So for business runners, at some point you need just to focus on the business rather than focusing all the time about investment. Of course, it's a continuous job, but still like you just do it based on the business plan, depending on where exactly you're going.
Right. And what has been driving this 30x growth? I mean, that sounds like, massive growth for any kind of startup. And while you're building a furniture marketplace, I'm sure there are a lot of operational challenges to deal with. So what has been driving this growth, and what are you doing to address this growth coming your way? How are you dealing with the challenges that this growth is bringing, which are obviously, I'm sure those are good problems to have, but how are you dealing with them?
Yeah, so I think it comes at as I said at the beginning, about like there was a good decent supply and decent demand. There was no one taking care of it. I think it was about the right time. I think we put it in this phases, right? Supply and demand were there. There was no like someone trying to do what we tried to, or what we did, and it was about the right time, right? And this was I would say the first aspect: time, supply, and demand. The second aspect, I think this is what I think the team here was able to do is the reaction fast to the gaps that we face while we're trying to digitize this. We're doing this for the first time. We don't have a handbook that we just take experiences from, right? It's not like food or transportation when you like see like $1 billion companies and what they did, and you try just to replicate what they do in the same region. We're the first one to do what we do in our region, right? And it was very important for us to react fast to every gap and signal we see while we're running the business. I think this is what we're happy with is the team and their reactions to this kind of stuff. So we really take the customer feedbacks and the sellers' communication to us on how to develop fast, and we try to adapt to it. So day on day, we feel we're filling these gaps without like losing the traction, right, of building this like next level business. I think this is mainly the two aspects behind the growth, time and our reaction to gaps.
Right, right. And in terms of getting this growth, what has been your strategy? Has most of it come through paid channels, or most of your growth is a result of word of mouth, people having good experiences from the marketplace and sharing it with others? What has been the best tool for getting more customers?
I think it's a hybrid model, right? It cannot be just one thing that you're focusing on, which is paid ads or partnerships or word of mouth. I think you need to take a gradual
What has
approach.
worked? What has worked the best for you? I mean, in Homesmart's case, what's the what do you see getting the highest share of growth in terms of tools, or things like word of mouth? What has worked the best?
I think it's a funnel, a marketing funnel, and a customer journey funnel. I think at the beginning you need to pay some to get some tractions, of course. Once the customers come, they really focus on, like, you serve them well. They start to have the word of mouth and the referrals program, and again you focus on retention to this segment again, and you play on the same like consumer tab. And of course, partnerships played a good thing in our equation when it comes to telecoms, when it comes to payment solutions. So we had again to work on like good partnerships in between, and good partners to take this forward with us. They need our solution, and we need their solution to help us in executing faster. So I think it was a funnel that we tried to tab on each part of it. Of course, starting with paid, and until you have to retain those consumers, and at some point you help your unit
Right.
economics. Like, I think, of course, again, it will start with payment, but ideally down the road we should not pay the same amount of money or unit economics we're paying today to get those consumers, because again, we're doing the referral and the word of mouth part that you're mentioning to make it easier for us in the future. Make sense?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And when it comes to building Homesmart over the last 18, 20 months, what has been the biggest surprise for you or the team?
Yeah, I always say this, right? It was COVID, because once we closed our seed round, like again it was in Feb, and then like in 2 weeks COVID came in, and we were not sure like what's going on in the world, right? It was very uncertain time. And the
Right.
first couple of weeks we were like, okay, let's be shy, and suddenly again, and this is, I would call, the reaction, or like analyzing the situation faster. And very soon we realized, let's be more aggressive and see what happened. And actually we went aggressive, and it was really good traction. I think COVID was really good for this like industry. Everyone was staying back home. They really focused on their needs back home. Offline was totally shut down, and it helped us in both supply and demand, right? Because demand, they were staying home. Supply, this is totally underutilized like industry. Suddenly you find like big retailers, like even IKEA, home centers, those guys, like, it was, of course they have their online, but they focused more on the offline, because again everyone was like thinking that it's about the touch and feel. So suddenly those sellers that we even were talking to them before the pandemic, they were like, yeah, but Homesmart's still small. Right after the pandemic, when like they were shut down, they were like, how can we sign up? And this was like I
Right.
wouldn't say a surprise. It came faster than we thought, right? And it was really good. And since then, I think I wouldn't call it like a lot of surprises, but I think like the traction points coming from our partners, when I say partners, like brands, like sellers, like manufacturing and home goods sellers, or even like telecoms or banks or those kind of partners, even investors, it was really good, because they were understanding what we're doing fast, and actually they want to be part of digitizing this ecosystem fast. And we were happy with this, and I think this happened faster than we imagined, to be honest.
Right, right. And when it comes to, you guys, you've closed this $15 million Series A. What exactly is next for Homesmart? Where do you go from here?
Yeah, no, it's a good one. So I think we always say the first 1 year was about understanding more our supply and demand and understand the needs between them and how to focus 360 on that sector. We always say it here in the company, we hold ourselves accountable for that sector. Like done. We're in that phase. We will be there. So we're done with this stage, and we found like gaps when it comes to operations, when it comes to demand, when it comes to supply. We call it operations in between. We have this kind of like BMO, like project management office, like tracker for this, and this needs to happen like over the next like period. Like each project needs to take its phase. So I think it's not one area when I want to say like, of course, the typical answer would be like, we want to focus on geographical expansion, operation, technology, and hiring a stronger team. But I think it goes beyond this because it goes for the actual elements that we will hire the team for, right? So as an example, like logistics, it's a big thing that we're focusing on right now. Why? Because there's a specific part in logistics that required, like we tried to do it, like depending on others, it couldn't work, and now we're putting our hands to solve it ourselves in, like we hope in a smarter way. And again, while we're running, there's other stuff that we saw gaps in, so we put really clear agenda and a strategy for it, and we apply again the supportive function, which is technology, which is HR, like people, and then like execution plans to achieve it there. But if you think about it from outside, as I said, of course, we need to focus on our geographical expansion. We don't think of Homesmart as...
When you say geographical expansion, where are you going next?
Yeah, I was about to say that. I think we don't signal ourselves as just Egyptian player. The whole game of Homesmart since the beginning is like a regional role. Again, it's not, the bane is not just in Egypt, it's everywhere in the region, right? And this is again when we hold ourselves accountable. So the expansion is happening in the whole region. It's about time.
And when do you think you're launching a new country? When would you go outside Egypt? How soon would that happen?
Maybe while we're speaking right now, it's happening.
It's happening.
No,
Okay, so it's definitely within this year. Okay.
Yeah, it's happening fast. I think it's again we didn't like we want even to happen it before, but again we wanted to be certain about some moves, and again like step on a very solid floor, and this is what we're trying to do. And I think now is the really right time for that focus.
Right. One last question before we sign off. How has your experience of building Daraz helped you in Homesmart?
Wow, a lot, right? You like again when we were doing this in Daraz in a Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nepal, we were the first ones to do it as well. So we did mistakes, and we tried to go over it fast. We were fast reactors, and that's why you see like company like Alibaba acquired the company. I think this is the same thing we're doing right now. We saw what exactly happened when it comes to me and with some experience in Jumia and Daraz, with Alibaba, Ibrahim with experience in Jumia and the logistics. So we tried to see what happened and exactly what we did in mistakes before, and we try to avoid it, of course. And it's the same for the whole team. I think this experience were phenomenal, right? It saved us like 4 years of trial and error, or 5 years of trial and error, and just did it in 1 year. If you know what I mean. If you look at
maybe Alibaba or Daraz should get some equity in Homesmart for that.
Yeah. I think we did our part as well back then. So. No,
Right. Okay.
Yeah. No, I think it's actually a thing. Like if you look at how long Jumia or Daraz took to reach the stage that Homesmart is in today. And when I'm saying this in a specific country, I mean, of course, they were like group focus, and they were even like very aggressive at the beginning.
Yeah, we wouldn't know if you wouldn't tell us, the GMV number, but I think we can make a guess.
Yeah, but you can relate. I can confirm that the span is much better in Homesmart. Let's put it this way.
Right. Okay.
And this is
Okay.
not bad. It's about the learning curve and the customer readiness. And I think like those two companies we just mentioned, they just digitalized like again a very fragmented market back then when digital was nothing in there, right? It's like Jumia 2012, the RAS 2014, something like this. So literally, they they did a change. Like now we're capitalizing on this change, but the change already happened there. So the effort was, we cannot compare us to them. And this is actually answering your question about like how did this experience help us today? I think the customer readiness, us with experiences and more efficient about how to build the healthy unit economics, this kind of stuff that helped us to accelerate Homesmart in a healthy way. I hope this is answering your question.
All right. Thank you so much. Yes, yes, it does. Thank you so much, Mahmoud, for joining in. It was a pleasure having you, and best of luck with what's next for Homesmart.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Zubair. Was my pleasure here. Thanks a lot, and good luck.